Philium and I actually met our first day of college. We were part of the same orientation group because we were going for the same major. And it's actually funny how we were introduced to each other. We were doing an icebreaker game set up by our peer leader, and he pulled both of our names out of a hat and paired us together. So that's really what got our conversation started.
We immediately bonded over music. Even though we came from different cultural backgrounds and we often listened to different genres, we felt that the way we resonated with music was very similar. Bela coming more from an indie pop background, but that already loved electronic influences.
Cut out all the ropes and let me fall.
And me coming from a more house and electronic music background, but already loving vocal heavy music and more of like those indie alternative influences. We felt that our music could come together in a really interesting way, providing a really fresh perspective. Not only the music that we made together, but we also like to find other music that kind of had those influences and kind of put them together in playlists and share it. And we actually immediately started doing projects that would relate to us sharing music. Like we started a radio show for our college where we would just share like music that we found.
When we came to college, we were unpolished. We were just starting out this journey of becoming artists. And so as we went through our courses, we were kind of developing these skills. And the more projects we worked on, the more we were able to showcase those skills.
As a consequence of all of the musical bonding that we had, it was almost inevitable for us to open up a DAW or a project or go into a studio and start making music together and put all of those influences into a piece of art. We immediately realized that we couldn't just work on simple projects. We had to do something more. And that's where the idea of Illusions came about. We wanted to create a brand, we wanted to create a duo and a vision that we shared together and that we could put out into the world for other people to relate to.
We see Illusions as a creative outlet for the projects that we make together. And we wanted to keep this emotional but danceable vibe. We wanted to be able to, display the emotions that we're feeling in a relatable way. We're big fans of electronic music and music that you can dance to. So we wanted to fit this aesthetic of crying on the dance floor type music. By keeping our aesthetic dark and mysterious, it makes our music and videos shine more and people can relate through our artwork.
Heartbeat started to take shape after the concept of Illusions was created and the sound and direction were defined. We put all of those sounds and all of those new ideas together, and our first single, Heartbeat, was born. Heartbeat actually started in an interesting way. We were actually in a class called Electronic Music, taught by Lainey, our professor at the time. Shout out to Lainey if she's watching this. So basically she had an assignment where she made us make 30-second beats that were similar to other types of artists that she would present in class. In that case, that class, we were making music in the style of a band, an electronic music band called The Orb. And so I started making these beats similar to The Orb, but immediately I started adding my own elements and my own direction and vision, and suddenly I realized that, wow, it started as like a The Orb style beat, and now it's turned into like what Bela and I want to make with Illusions. And when I presented it in class, immediately I remember presenting and Bela looking at me saying, like, we have to work on this beat together. And literally after class, I sent her the demo, Bela started working on some top lines, and immediately after that, we kind of just came together and then the song started developing from there.
Heartbeat's an experimental take on vocal heavy electronic music, which a lot of times is very instrumental heavy, focusing on the beat, the ear candy, and we definitely wanted that in our music, but at the same time, we really wanted to make sure that the vocals were also prominent and able to display this emotion that we wanted to get out to our listeners.
Something that you can control, like something that speeds up your heartbeat, something that excites you.
Yeah, I guess slowly speeding up my heartbeat lost me to the sound. It's like, I guess, like a concert lost me to the sound, stumbling around because there's so many people till I go down, and down would be like someone that overdoes it.
Because the chorus gave a really dancey and good vibe, we wanted the first verse to be completely the opposite. This song was all about contrasts. So in the first verse, we stripped it down and put a lot of drones and ambiances in a really vulnerable and piano. And when we were writing the vocal, the whole concept was, let's take away instruments to give space for the vocal to really, really shine and have it be like a vulnerable emotional moment. Again, like our music, it combines that vulnerability with the dance vibes. When it got to the second verse, we kind of wanted the same style, but we didn't want to go back to the first verse. It felt too repetitive and too much of the same. So we had to find the perfect balance of how do we bring back the same energy and vibe, but yet make it feel fresh and new. And so Bela and I literally sat down in the studio and started brainstorming different things that we did.
How should the second half of the song go?
Do you want drums or no drums?
I don't want it to be ambient again. I feel like that's too much. I feel like it needs to be like bigger. It can't, like, once we hit that second chorus, we can't go back to slow. It's gotta be dance vibes the whole way from there.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
You gonna keep the same drum beat or a different drum beat?
Different drum beat. We were playing around with different sounds and we stumbled upon this bass sound that immediately both of us just knew it was perfect for the second verse. I want like a fuzzy, you do the presets.
Yeah. Which is amazing because it's a cool one.
The bass was so different from the first that it wouldn't make sense to layer the same sounds that we had from the first verse on top of this bass. Instead, we took the sounds that we liked the most and just kind of went on a whole new direction.
So we pulled up a synthesizer, started messing with an ambient pluck, and Bella started playing some melodies. And actually, the melody that later became the second verse came out of one of those pluck melodies that Bella was playing on the piano. Use this sound, you gotta. I like the sound I use all the time.
Can you record it?
You like that?
Yeah. And from that, we were able to create a second verse that was nothing like the first verse, but still flowed really well into the song.
Beautiful.
Because Heartbeat was an experimental vocal heavy song, we really wanted to make sure there were a lot of variations vocally.
I've been tripping on my own feet, just trying to keep myself afloat.
That's it. I've been tripping on my own feet, just trying to keep myself afloat.
I'm slurring on my own speech.
And control it on my own. There was a lot of crafting the vocal to reach a level where it was constantly dynamically changing and stimulating the listener in different ways. Please keep my head in line.
Please keep my head in line.
The sound of this room, I like it a lot.
Sound of
This
you.
room.
Losing my cool. Keep my head in line. Running out of time.
We really wanted to bounce around between using head voice versus using chest voice and kind of making it flow together.
It's okay if it's super high. I could do like a lower, so.
Losing my cool. Keep my head.
This is kind of high. This is like the top of my, like, I don't know if you noticed. But I'm like,
Losing my
Pushing,
cool.
pushing.
Losing my cool.
Put it on the air.
We wanted to create a choir effect for a portion of the song, which really adds to the beauty and simplicity of that part, because when we took all the instruments out, we were really able to let the vocals shine.
Slowly speeding up my heartbeat, lost me to the sound, stumbling around till I go down. Slowly speeding up my heartbeat, lost me to the sound, stumbling around till I go down.